behind the scenes. It's crazy. Things are happening. Hi, welcome to HAL SPARKS Mega Worldwide. It's a Monday afternoon of crazy, tumultuous week. Not so much for normal people, but the mean people, the gross people, the disgusting people, the hateful people are they're going to have a week. They had kind of a week last week, and this week it's going to be it's going to, like, Friday night, they're going to start asking their significant other, if they have one who's, masochistic enough to stay with them, whether they should get treated for TMJ. They're going to have moments. Yes, the maggots among us are going to have, like, those kind of, it's just, no, I don't know if it was something I ate or I can't, no, I'll be fine. You know what? We're going to skip dessert. Can I just we'll just get a check. Oh, I want to, there is one of the biggest things. Hold on, I'm touching something off camera. One of the things that's been sticking out to me in particular is this, and I spoke about this with our dear friend Philip Ittner, who is, as of tomorrow, traveling and shall return to, he'll be stateside before he goes back in for another dose of Ukraine in about a month. This is the story that's going to give everybody at Mar-a-Lardas a real touch of the intestinal disfortitude. This guy, Ianov, who was a Russian agent who was over here running social media and political disinfo campaigns, who was really just here to be a shit stirrer. That's all he was here to do. Because the goal is not to, as much as Donald Trump would like the ego boost of Russia thinking he's actually worth a fuck, that's not the opinion of the people over there at all. They think he's a clown. They were laughing at him. Even when he blasted Biden for falling off his bike, they joked about, like, the fact that Biden can actually ride a bike and all of that stuff. So they don't care about him. What they want is somebody to basically throw a monkey wrench in American democracy, and that's what they foment. They don't actually go for real secessionists. I'm sorry if you view yourself as a true rebel, a true secessionist, a true breakaway republic in and of your own damn self, and that you think Russia's backing you. I'm sorry. If they're backing you, it's not because they think you're going to change the system in a positive way, one direction or another, or even a negative way in one direction or another. They just want you to fuck up the process. You are Operation Fuck Up. That's what you are. And that's why Trump was chosen by some of these folks a while back. Magoo! So an indictment was unsealed today. This is Friday. In Tampa, Florida, charging a Russian national working on behalf of the Russian government and in conjunction with the Russian Federal Security Service, the FSB minus an S. I guess it's the FSB service. I get it. It annoys me. I guess the FSSB. I don't know. Like, these wrong letters. Anyways, we're using the FSB for their letters, just like KGB, but we don't. Anyways, it annoys me kind of like the show Chips when it came out. They had a sequel to Chips called Chips Patrol, and since Chips stands for California Highway Patrol, the show was called California Highway Patrol. I know nobody gives a shit except me and my buddy Kurt and a couple of the other kids I grew up with. But Christ almighty. Yes, there will be, this is all national security stuff. Now, where'd they get this guy? Where was he? Well, according to the indictment, Ianov, working under the supervision of the FSB and the Russian government, with the Russian government support, recruited political groups within the United States, including U.S. Political Group 1 in Florida, Political Group 2 in Georgia, U.S. Political Group 3 in California, and exercised direction or control over them on behalf of the FSB. Specifically, he provided financial support to these groups, directed them to publish pro-Russian propaganda, coordinated and funded direct action by these groups within the United States, and intended to further Russian interests. And I gotta say, I that's gotta be TYT. Sorry, I'm just fucking with him. It's Jimmy Dore. I don't know. I'm just kidding. It's Glenn Greenwald, Anna Kasparian, and Jimmy Dore's knitting group. Anyways, this is for the lefties that they were trying to, gin up anti-democracy stuff. But the first one and the most important, why Florida? What do you know? And why Georgia of all places? It's almost as if, okay. Secret foreign government efforts to influence American elections and political groups threaten our democracy by spreading misinformation and distrust and mayhem. That's right. That's the goal. Misinformation, distrust, and mayhem. This one being, even though it's buried in the middle, the biggest one, distrust. Why would you invest yourself in democracy if you think it's all a fraud and it doesn't work and our system and both our parties are two legs in the same pair of pants? And oh my God, is there really a difference? I don't know. Yang Gang 24. According to the indictment, Ionov allegedly targeted U.S. political group One based in St. Petersburg, Florida. In May 2015, Ionov funded an all-expense-paid trip to Russia for the leader of U.S. political group One, unindicted co-conspirator One, and UIC1. Oh, or otherwise known as UIC1, unindicted co-conspirator, in order to communicate on future cooperation, which no word on whether it involved a handy from Maria Butina and or the CEO of Overstock. I can't tell you. The only way you can tell the difference if your eyes closed is that one of them there's some assembly required in one of them. All right. I'm sorry. That was just wrong. Wait, did that work? Hold on.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
Excellent. So, this indictment, more than even the Letitia James one, the Georgia case, this is filling Trump's diaper with soup right now. And we will be following it very closely. I'm just enjoying it. You're watching HAL Sparks Mega Worldwide. Let's get started. Because where do we even start? Okay. Here's how we start. Kathy, thank you so much for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. La, la. Thanks for the subscription. Ha ha. Look at all the credit and support and wonder you get if you support the show in any way. Watch what it does when someone becomes a patron. Okay, it'll happen later. Anyways, okay. So, a lot of hay is made around the idea that Eric is the dumbest Trump. And I think that's unfair. Because sure, he talk dumb. Sure, he do dumb. Sure, he too dumb to run company by himself without training wheels. But I will give him credit for one thing. Never being dumb enough to do one of his little videos or talks or what have you, like the big dummy that he is, while standing in front of a green screen. Whether it's garments they're wearing or whether it's environmental, Don is never going to learn. He is never going to learn. Do not ever get anywhere near green, Don Jr., when you're doing one of these. You big moron. Guys, I'd like to introduce you to a friend of my dad's. They were like this. How? Again, you got to make it that easy for me? Hold on, and there's an ad.
Lied.
Oh my
They
God.
spied.
What?
They are the most powerful people in America and the focus of the Durham investigation. The evidence is clear. Politicians and government of...
Guys,
Guys, you're not gonna believe this. I was dumb enough, guys, to stand up. Guys, Mr. Carter, guys, I was stupid enough. I was too No, that should work. Oh, maybe not. All right. This is... he's never going to learn.
You can't make this stuff up anymore.
Guys, you can't make this stuff up anymore. Like you could, I don't know, generally with the idea that my father didn't really know Jeffrey Epstein and they didn't hang.
You legitimately cannot make
You can't make this up. You legitimately can't make this up. Why not?
it up anymore. Apparently Joe Biden...
Oh, no. Joe Biden is a Harry Potter character. No, you can't make this up. Joe Biden is Benjamin Buttons. Turns out he's not feeble. He's 4. That is Joe Biden.
has tested positive for COVID again.
Yeah, it's called rebound COVID. It happens, and it's usually about how when you're on the medication, the amount of virus in your system ebbs and flows. He didn't get a new bout of it. It's the same one. This has happened before. I don't know why he's surprised, but because he's dumb. I mean, we're supposed to be amazed about the medical information acuity of a man who is stupid enough to stand in front of a bunch of greenery when he knows someone like me is lurking.
I mean,
I got nothing. The gas prices are coming down. My dad's going to get indicted. There's all these, everybody's making fun of his boobs and his sweatiness. He's hanging out. He just said 9/11. Nobody ever got to the bottom of whether the Saudis were involved.
He had it like 2 or 3 weeks ago, didn't he?
No.
And he's got it again.
Last week.
Now, obviously, we wish him well.
Obviously, well, your dad doesn't. Obviously, where was I?
At least partially because, man, I can only imagine what would happen if Kamala Harris was there, but we would.
I'm only wishing him well because if he dies, there's a black chick like this close to the presidency. Yikes.
Wish him well because we're decent people anyway.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what your dad did.
But he says he has no real symptoms. He's going to isolate, but he'll be back on the road again soon, which I'm saying, don't rush. Take your time. It seems every time Joe tries to do anything.
Yeah, it's like every time Joe goes outside, he stands in front of a bunch of,
It actually makes things worse.
Yeah. I can't.
Even though we do understand, it's not Joe Biden.
No, of course not. He's a puppet. But nope. All right. But he's in charge of everything. Yes, master criminal with dementia that still runs everything.
He's just the person signing.
And it just labeled me a failed comedian. Yay! That's a good sign. Apparently that just happened. Is that breaking news? That's lovely. It is lovely to be diagnosed. I don't know. Described. Prescribed. I don't know, on her show probably. As a failed comedian by someone with genuinely no sense of humor.
Signing and implementing the policies put forth by the Democrat Party that are destroying our economy.
Gas has been going down for the last 7 weeks in a row.
So just remember, despite being, still masked at times.
Masked at times.
You saw Kamala.
This is so fucking stupid. I don't even know why. I guess he has to crank one of these out. It's like a court order. He's got to do 3. He's got to do 3 minutes of this.
Harris wearing the mask the other day, and
she was doing it, and it didn't help because mask don't.
I saw that despite being quadruple jabbed or whatever, however many times, despite everything he said about what would happen if you did get jabbed.
You mean you don't get really sick and you avoid going to the hospital? And he apparently you haven't seen the pictures of him while he's isolating and your dad. By the way, Biden looks better while he's isolating with COVID than your father looks while golfing last weekend.
He's got it.
He's got it. Who's got that? He's got it. Yeah, baby, he's got it. I'm your fetus. I'm your fire, your desire. Sorry, it's just dicking around.
Yet again.
Yet again. It's the same bout.
Now again, what would be scarier would be if Kamala Harris had to take charge, or the other radicals, the people, whether it's Susan Rice or Obama or whoever's...
Yeah, he's being controlled by Obama, who is being controlled by Hillary, by the way. It's this weird human centipede of democratic ideals.
Coming up with this policy that they're more than happy to let Joe Biden sign because they don't mind. They're not going to tank.
Well, the president has to sign things. And the way you know this is because your dad can sign all the shit he wants and it has no meaning.
Their own
It doesn't even raise the value of that stupid book he's selling.
reputation's doing it, but they won't have no problem destroying him while implementing what they all want. Remember the liberal world order? Because
yes, that we all fucking live in. The liberal world order by the way, contains all conservative thought, all federalism. Federalism all falls within the liberal world order, dumb fuck. Because the anti-liberal, the non-liberal world order is straight up theocracy, dictatorship, and monarchy. That's the difference. Literally comes from French Parliament. The monarchists were on the right. On the left were the people who believed that human beings should choose their own leaders.
they're not even pretending
that... They're not even pretending that they give a fuck about how illiterate you are about baseline civics. The nerve.
to not say
It's pronounced, but there's not it's an I on the end.
the quiet part out loud anymore. They're just saying it, folks.
Yeah, they were supposed to whisper that it's a liberal world order. We're coming for you. It's the liberal world order. Where you can have things like free speech, but very quietly. Only a little free speech, just quiet, just the tip of free speech. That's all you get.
You heard them the other day on the news as it related to energy. You hear them virtually every day.
Do you?
They're not even
They're not even pretending to buy our this is a communist thing that my dad is trying to say. It's not going anywhere. They're not even... Yes, it was ASMR. That's my best to it. What are you? This is ASMR. It's the liberal world order. Liberal world order is on fire.
pretending. If we have to feel a little pain, folks, that's the price we gotta pay to
Yeah, it sounds like something out of fucking World War II.
push this nonsense. It doesn't matter.
To push this nonsense. By the way, the push this nonsense that he's relating to in the feel a little pain thing is protecting Ukraine from Russia and therefore the rest of Europe and securing NATO and securing our world. Genuinely, the nature of our the connection of our nations on a rules-based system. That's the nonsense. I think I got it all out in one thing, whatever. Like that's what he thinks is a bunch of nonsense, because that was directly what they were talking about in terms of what was causing high gas prices, especially earlier in the year. They're obviously coming down.
If we destroy the middle class, it doesn't matter if we destroy your livelihood.
Yes, who cares if we shut down the whole country for COVID? But oh yeah, my dad did that, because if he hadn't, everybody would have died, and it took him forever, and he dragged his ass, and a bunch of people died unnecessarily.
Who
cares if you're on a cruise ship and you don't have COVID yet, and if you got off, you might be able to avoid infection? You're gonna ruin Trump's numbers.
Small business and Main Street America?
Yes, or mainstream America. Yeah, what if you're just a real estate developer? You got a nice beach house. You and your girlfriend just hanging out. You just want a party, and Biden's world order is gonna mess with you.
We're gonna make sure our rich friends.
Spoken like a man with no friends at all.
And our special interests get rich. We're gonna take care of big.
This motherfucker's dad just did a Saudi golf tournament at his golf course where he just buried his wife for a tax break.
Pharma, we're going to send billions over to Ukraine and ultimately support big war. We're going to keep
Big war, as opposed to little war, like Syria, like your dad did.
doing that.
Like sending, like taking soldiers out of Syria and sending them to Saudi Arabia to be human shields for gas refineries.
Middle America be damned. The peasants will figure it out. We'll put them on a government program. They'll be Democrat voters for life.
Infrastructure is again. Welfare. More jobs, though. Yeah, bullshit.
So, while we wish Joe Biden well...
Sorry, I got a Coke bubble at the top of my... Guys!
Perhaps...
Perhaps? Jesus Christ. Did he go to the same dentist as his dad? The fuck is happening to this man?
We'll put them on a government program. They'll be Democrat voters for life. So, while we wish Joe Biden well... Perhaps...
Perhaps. Sorry, I'm not... You don't expect me to take this video seriously, do you? For fuck's sake.
He should self-isolate a little bit more and a little bit longer.
Says the guy who's out in the fucking woods alone. There's no... Is there... Where are... Oh, what did you do? Break away from a moose hunting trip?
Guys, I have to... I gotta do one of my videos, because that's how I pay them. Got time to make the donuts, guys. Guys!
Maybe he just...
Maybe go.
should take some time and stop doing anything. Because every
time he does something, it shows that my dad was a complete fuck up. It is guys, infrastructure week stopped. We're not in Afghanistan anymore. Do you understand how Joe Biden is making my life miserable?
time he seems to pick up a pen to
Oh, thanks, Ron.
try to do something good, he only destroys our future.
And he means the Trump family. It's a narrow linguistics to cover the truth behind the statement.
Our children's future.
No. I'm sure they'll be fine. Actually, they'll be in a, hopefully, especially if we retain the House and the Senate this year, they'll be in a healthier, safer environment, even if they grow up to be assholes like you. Hopefully, there'll be some sort of, soul intervention on their own part. Because sometimes being a dick skips a generation, but you're two in a row with you and your dad, so I don't know how it works in this family. And your grandfather, I think. Ugh. Maybe there's hope for every fourth generation.
Economy, our country, and guess what, folks?
What?
Changing the definition of words, whether it be woman, infrastructure.
Infrastructure, which is very different from infrastructure, but yeah.
As of late, seemingly changing the definition of what would historically be a recession.
seemingly changing the... And the reason he's saying that is because his financial advisor, because he more than likely lives off stacked investments, is telling him not to sell and not to get out and buy all the hype about a recession and just ride it out, because if it's going to exist, it'll be shallow and he'll benefit. There's ways to benefit from it financially. And even though we've had two quarters of contraction, and normally that would put us in that situation, there's still way too much job growth and way too much money flowing to actually qualify as a recession. Because I don't know if you know, but there was this thing called COVID we all went through, which changed the definition of normal for a while.
Because we all know that if it was Donald Trump...
we would still be in Afghanistan. The unemployment and the deficit would be double what they are now. We wouldn't have any new gun regs. We wouldn't have an infrastructure bill, of course. We wouldn't have passed the rescue package, so evictions last summer would have been fucking brutal. And TYT and all those guys would be making bank.
And you had 2 consecutive quarters, that's all they'd be talking about.
Talk about.
We started a recession in February that they were warning about leading up in 2019 about. That's why Trump was haranguing Powell for negative interest rates.
That was recession. I get it, guys.
I gotta.
They got $1 trillion big tech and social and mainstream media all acting as their marketing department. Don't fall for it.
No, can't let it happen. Don't let it go. This can't happen. We can't let it happen. Don't let it happen. We can't let it happen.
Everything we've seen, it ain't Joe Biden.
No, it's sort of the circumstances he was left with in the cleanup. I mean,
look, Obama is responsible for all the credit default swaps. Okay, he basically was Lehman Brothers. He was the third Lehman brother.
It's Democrat policy. They're implementing it. They're doing the things they said they would do, and we are reaping the extremely negative consequences.
Dude's on a fucking hunting trip. Hasn't worked a day in fucking months. But you don't actually think this prick is out here in the woods buying property to develop, do you? None of you assholes think Trump actually buys and sells property anymore or builds buildings. This asshole's dad turned their company, their grandfather's company, into a marketing scheme, a branding exercise. They don't build shit anymore. They make deals with people who are already building things to slap his name on it to give the illusion of quality. But that has actually run out, and they're taking more names off of buildings than they're putting on. The Trump's shitting the bed is the only growth industry they're involved in. I don't know why you wouldn't want to cozy up to this dude.
And it's only going to get worse. Don't let them get away with it.
Don't let them get away with it. Don't let it happen. Can't let it happen. It's not going to happen. We're going to make it happen. We'll be back doing something better.
Pay attention.
Pay attention and don't let
keep watching.
Pay attention. Pay attention and keep watching. The honest to God, the biggest 3 minutes and 33 seconds the waste of time we've ever experienced. The shit.
Don't let it happen. Watch what's going on. See where it's going. Can't let it happen. Now watch this drive. I mean, there's big George W. Bush Iraq War Gulf energy with this whole fucking family. But our current only real problem, because all the independents that drifted during the last year are all coming back. The only thing keeping, Warnock and Walker's race within the margin of error right now is the progressives. That's it. I mean, I think Warnock's going to walk away with it. I really, really do. But it won't be because, the deep blue sea rose up to save him. Yeah. Al-Qaeda. I don't even. Yes. Step 1, collect underpants. Step 2, Step 3, profit. Oh, God. You're watching HAL, SPARKS, MEGAWORLDWIDE. Those are blissfully short and genuinely meaningless. But let's, if I may, on American Agenda on Newsmax TV, one of 3 pro-Trump networks that's still on the air. Sorry, OAN. Right Side is still there. And RAV, Real America's Voice, which is only on the air because all of their programming is also on Lindell TV. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Lindell TV, that Mike Pillow is actually paying for that shit accidentally because they just re-air shit both directions. So this is... Watch. Highlights of Donald Trump's hosting a LIV golf event. Yeah, it's a golf guys. It's a golf event. It's not so much a tournament. It's more just a Saudi Trump fusion dickwag. Like less than 15 yards from the grave of his ex-wife.
Woof. Yeah, and the tickets for this were going for as low as $1 because he's doing the thing with the regular people. Now, why is it? Did that work? Hold on. Am I hearing that? Are you hearing that? Hold on. What is the? Let's see. In this guy, try and do it like this.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
All right. Just checking. See if that worked. Hold on. That's the... There it is. I need to be able to monitor it as well. There you go. So this is on American Agenda. And remember, if you're gay, agenda bad. Just don't get too excited. You're not allowed to have an agenda. Just okay, here we go.
Saudi-backed Live Golf Tournament tees
Saudi-backed Live. It's live. Lviv.
off at former President Trump's Bedminster golf course with
Near his dead wife.
big stars amid big pressure from the PGA and 9/11 groups.
Yeah, our national correspondent.
Yeah, the two of the biggest anti-American groups in the country right now, 9/11 families and the PGA.
Michael Carter is at the Bedminster Golf Course with more. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey guys, good afternoon. Well, it's becoming increasingly more popular to become a fan of golf, to root for the players in the Live Golf Tour than it is even in the PGA Tour. A lot.
Since fucking when? No, it isn't. When did that shit start? What are you talking about? You mean they bought the big guys to come over for this tournament? Jesus Christ. No.
A lot of former PGA stars are
assholes.
Live Golf Tour has to do with money, the better schedule.
Their better schedule. That's what it is. Access to wood chippers.
Seeing stars like Bryson DeChambeau, Bubba Watson.
Oh my God, not Bryson Watson DeChambeau.
Two-time Masters champion, recently signed.
Yeah, you guys are going to need a bigger wall. Build that wall. The Live Golf wall had the same designer as Trump's wall. Also, by the way, does not help to do golf segments when you have green everywhere.
With the Live Golf Tour. Also, Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, and Phil Mickelson. Of course, there's a lot of controversy around Live Golf. In particular,
yeah, there's a lot of controversy about Live Golf in general.
This tournament here this weekend at the Trump Golf Course here in Bedminster, New Jersey. Why? Well, some people say Live Golf.
Some people.
Has blood money on its hands. It has relations with the Saudi royal family, which a lot of folks who are tied to 9/11, those families in 9/11 say, the Saudi royal family, they were involved in that. The Saudi regime was involved in that, and any company that gets involved.
Yeah, the green on the grass is really helping. I'm just saying.
With the Saudi government is bad news. So last hour, Phil Mickelson teed off here at the 16th hole just behind me. And
Yeah, he's the guy standing on Jeffrey Epstein's lip right now. Or no, he's walking from Jeffrey Epstein's chest to Donald Trump's gunt, his nunt.
Keeping all of that in mind, here's what happened.
Yeah, golf happened. Oh. Come on, man. Why quit it? Stop. My concentration was so perfect, and then you brought up the fact that this benefits the Saudi royal family.
There shouting. Some of the Live folks who work on site here at the golf course have been saying, there are more reporters here than protesters.
There are more reporters here than protesters. Well, we certainly know that the reporters that are there aren't protesting or asking any tough questions, especially when they start off their package literally by saying that people are more excited about this thing than they are about the PGA.
However, when asked yesterday about this controversy, here's what former President Donald Trump had to say.
I am a sweaty mess, and I had right.
They've been friends of mine for a long time.
Wow, he sounds fabulous.
They've invested in many American companies. They own big percentages of many, many American companies. And frankly, what they're doing for golf is so great. What they're doing for the players is so great. The salaries are going to go way up. The PGA was not loved by a lot of the players, as you know, for a long time. Now they have.
Yeah, well, obviously, you know, they do have some drawbacks. The PGA, I suppose, that they don't have literally Saudi money. They're just an American golf organization.
Have an alternative, and nobody would have ever known there was going to be a gold rush like this.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it a gold rush. I'd call it more like an armored car hit. I mean, this is like golfing, like a golf tournament put on by Wayne Grow in heat.
So before you jump all over Donald Trump and
yeah, leave him out of this. Companies with ties to Saudi Arabia. You mean they bought stock in the companies through the Dow?
His golf courses hosting live golf tournaments.
Uh-huh.
Take a look at some of these companies
that have stores are available in this country
that also are invested in by the Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, none of which are run by former American presidents or offer governmental prestige, if that even exists for Trump, you know, from Trump.
Twitter, Nintendo, Disney, Facebook, Starbucks, Amazon, Uber, and AT&T. A lot of folks say there's a lot of blame to cast around when you want to start pointing at one particular area of Saudi interest. But of course, it's not all about controversy this weekend. We are here.
No, it's a party. I mean, there's a little bit of controversy where people are just yelling that this is fucking golf. Like, it's one thing to go, all right, if we don't get a deal with the Saudis, they're going to end up, you know, choking the oil supply, and that price is going to end up leading to shortages in countries that are, I mean, it'll spike prices here, but it'll kill people in Africa and India and across parts of the Middle East and Central Asia. So we got to talk to these guys, but I'm not going to actually, you know, but I'm not going to be in fucking business with them.
A lot of folks celebrating.
Yeah, and he is stealing Studio 54's logo. That's another Trump thing. I don't know what the fuck that is.
Patriotism.
I think did they turn that into Studio 54 over there? And it's good because I mean it's appropriate, I think, that they have Studio 54 as the venue behind him, wouldn't you say?
Glad to be in the presence of
greatness. Former President Trump and some of his best friends.
President Trump. We talked to a few of them last hour.
Usually the golf, tournaments are very calm and quiet. This is awesome.
Yeah, it's so awesome. This is so much better. This is what golf was meant to be. It's basically like if you could have a golf tournament that was made entirely of Rodney Dangerfield's slacks in Caddyshack.
These guys flying in with the American flag. I'm so proud to be an American right now.
So I went to a PGA.
Wait, why didn't that dude look like he was about to eat shit? What happened? What's this guy?
The American flag.
That doesn't look good.
I'm so proud to be an American right now.
That was a hard hit.
So I went to a PGA event last year.
Yeah, which was bullshit, bruh.
Now I think this is very more interactive.
It's very more interactive. Yeah, like you could stand and yell shit, and like it's hilarious, bruh.
I think the fans are more included in the process of the tournament.
The fans, yeah, you can go out if you want to just kick somebody in the balls. I mean, golf balls, not their actual balls.
I think it's awesome.
Who are you more excited to see this weekend, Phil Mickelson or Donald Trump?
Well, that's a tough one.
Both,
equally. Donald Trump, it has to be, though.
So if Joe...
Yeah, oh yeah, it gotta be. I mean, because it was his, it's golf, but...
Joe Biden was hosting this event, what would we see?
If Joe Biden was hosting this event, what would we see?
People be wearing around the golf course?
What would people be wearing around the golf course.
Little pajamas, little pillows, little nap time. Sleepy Joe.
If I may. Let's see. One moment. Hurry up. Calling it in. Let's do this.
Do-do-do-do.
That hurts. Jesus Christ. How do you do that? Without your, like, I feel like I'm going to dislocate my collarbone.
Oh my God, y'all were having so much fun.
Oh, he got busted for using the presidential seal, by the way. That's illegal.
Thanks very much. Yeah, I do feel like I'm, now that you bring it up, I do feel like I'm haunted by the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein. It's a weird feeling, but it's true.
During last night's Live Party, Donald J. Trump, DJ told Trump, you see Paulina? I got $250 million in the bank and she can't even dress herself fully. Look at that outfit. Trump replied, we love to see it, according to sources. We love to see it. Yeah, and these are pictures from the event. Hey! Yeah, I'm going with that's a diaper. Because the man is not doing squats. There's not a Stairmaster at the, well, it depends. Yeah, it's looking good. Looks looking solid. Yep. Just a powerhouse. Like I'm getting alpha male vibes I can barely shake. Thank God Sleepy Joe isn't there. I'm sure people are very reassured. Oh, Jason Selvig. Man, age is one thing, but woof.
I'm having so much fun, y'all. I don't even know how this game works. How do you even see the ball?
Who's behind me? Who's that behind me? Who are you saying? Who's that lady?
Right on my chin. Just give me a shot. Right on the chin. Squirt, squirt. You know her, right? She's one of the last few dumb ones.
Oh, God. Eric Trump's golf bag. Nick Adams. Eric Trump's golf bag at the LIV Golf Bedminster Tournament is giving America hope. Yeah, I hope he runs with her. Oh, this is unfortunate. With Marge as his running mate. Oh, and this is, Jesus Christ. That's where she's buried. Hold on, all right. I have to turn the filters. Whoops, I quit it. I kind of have to turn the filter off on this one real quick. Beep. Just so you can see, that's Ivana Trump's gravesite. No mausoleum, no headstone, no monument. I mean, I don't doubt that they might have to, like, people will start noticing and they're like, well, we got to kind of put something out there. But I fucking doubt it. The way the dude feels about windmills, you think he, screwing up the scenery, you think he's actually going to put a monument to his dead wife visible from the fucking first hole? The grass is going to grow over that. The kids will come there every so often to put fucking flowers on the grave or something. But you're never even going to know it's fucking there. Somebody is going to walk across her grave to get a golf ball within a year. The grass is brown. Yeah, the grass is dead over here. That's like the truck marks, I guess, or where they set the tent up for everybody, and they didn't have a chance to respray the green paint on the grass at Bedminster. Fucking hell. Oh, Caitlyn Jenner was there. Caitlyn's got bigger hands than he does. It's interesting. That's not true. Again, can you imagine if there was a situation where Rachel Maddow was hanging out with Obama and somebody else at a fucking horse track, and they were talking about, like they were laughing it up. That you'd never hear the fucking end of it.
Best players in the world playing here this weekend at Bedminster, New Jersey. Incidentally, another thing about the PGA Tour when it comes to Donald Trump golf courses, they removed their tournament back in 2016 from the Trump National Doral course in Miami.
Yeah, something about the fact that the PGA actually does the women's tour as well, and the whole grabbing women by the pussy thing, and the dozens of credible sexual assault claims against him made it untenable for them. Also, while he's fucking president, they can't do that because it looks like they're buying influence.
Miami when Donald Trump was running for president, and after January 6th of last year, they removed the PGA tournament that takes place annually here at Bedminster. So the only place...
Gee, I can't imagine why.
If you're Donald Trump, that you can host the best players in the world right now is by going through Live Golf. Guys?
Kid, Jesus Christ, this is just a fucking ad.
All right, thank you. He's got the 54 in the background there with Mike. Thank you, Mike.
He's got the 54 back in, you mean Studio 54? Because he's ripping off the New York party thing, because they had a party in the basement of that thing, which was just gross.
54, L-I-V, live. That's where, in case anybody was wondering, 54 holes instead of 72 holes. Joining us now to discuss a controversial event, global business analyst and golf expert and commentator.
Global business analyst and golf expert. I mean, aren't they all?
Hillary Fordridge. Hillary, you can certainly understand the business decision by some of these golfers. I mean, some people have said this is...
Yeah, it's not like they have... they're golfers. It's not like they're moral. I mean, if LeBron can link up with the CCP, why can't they get a little Saudi scratch?
Just the new senior tour, because you're taking guys like Sergio and Phil and Bubba, who probably aren't at their peak anymore.
Yes, exactly. So that's why they called it a golf event.
And they're making a lot of money. But there still is that controversy.
Yeah, I don't know why.
There's lots of controversy around it. You're right. Pleasure to be back with you. A couple of things here. Yes, I mean, even people like Brooks Koepka, who's had injuries. There's a lot of people who are injured. A lot of people, like you just mentioned, are past their prime. One thing I would say is just when, the reporter just now, he had that list up of all the companies. Tesla is also a company that the Saudis have invested in.
Yeah, that's the difference between them buying fucking stock, dummy.
So those... I mean, the 9/11 families, no one could say, I'm sure, that we don't all feel horrendous for them. We all felt horrendous on...
Well, yeah, you can. Trump literally was like, okay, hold on. Trump, let's see. How about this 1 second? Here you go.
Associated with the city of New York. You, of all people, understand the passion surrounding 9/11. What do you say to those family members who protested earlier this week and will be doing so again on Friday?
Well, nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have, as to the maniacs that did that horrible thing to our city, to our country, to the world. So nobody's really been there, but I can tell you that
nobody's
there are a lot
really
of
been
really
there.
great people that are out here today, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to celebrate, and money's going to charity. A lot of money's going to charity. And you have really the best players in the world, many of the best players in the world, and soon you'll probably have all of them.
You're so...
Yeah. Stay classy. Nobody knows, like, who got to the... Nobody knows who was at the bottom of this thing. Where's this?
You got a question for Donald? Yes, Donald, I know it's going to be a big day for you. You've won others before, but there's something about being in New York and dominating the polls like you are that's going to be something you're probably not going to forget.
2016.
Even everything you've accomplished. But I want to bring you to an issue right now that's front and center with so many people I'm getting on the radio yesterday and today is the 28 pages that were taken out of the 9/11 report. Saudi Arabia, evidently there's reference to Saudi Arabia. You have a Democratic senator, now retired, Senator Graham, who says it's time for the public to see him. Does Donald Trump believe it's time for us to see these 28 pages?
I do. I think we should have seen it a long time ago. I think I know what it's going to say. It's going to be very, very profound, having to do with Saudi Arabia and Saudi Arabia's role on the World Trade Center and the attack. And that's very serious.
By the way, he does this shit all the time in interviews when he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about in general, or he knows he's supposed to be for something by the tone of the person he's talking to. So what he does is he takes 4 or 5 words out of what they just said and acts like, you hear these things, people talk about 9/11 and the Saudis and this thing, and people should know. Like we've seen him do this in interview after interview where he just doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And this is the way he pretends to be he'll tell you something you just told him and go, people need to talk about this. And that's enough.
Stuff. And, I've said it for a long time. We attacked Iraq. And frankly, by attacking Iraq, they were not the ones that knocked down the World Trade Center. Now, I've been saying that for a long time. Let's see what the papers say. I think they should have been released a long time ago.
By the way, he apparently thought it was Muslims in New Jersey.
I think they're finally going to be, at least in some form, released. But,
You see what I mean? Like, he's just repeating what Kilmeade said. He doesn't know what the fuck that is.
Sort of nice to know who your friends are and perhaps who your enemies are. But you're going to see some very revealing things in those papers, and I look forward to reading them.
All right, Mr. Trump.
See what I mean? Fucking hell. Here's the ad for it. This is fabulous. They're just drone shooting through the whole fucking place. Yeah, the view's fantastic. Mm-hmm. It's almost like you can see. They just cut together a bunch of drone footage like a real estate thing.
Well, I've known these people for a long time in Saudi Arabia, and they've been friends of mine for a long time. They've invested in many American companies. They own big percentages of many, many American companies. And frankly, what they're doing for golf is so great. What they're doing for the players is so great. The salaries are going to go way up.
This is longer. This is the longer
The
version.
PGA was not loved by a lot of the players, as you know, for a long time. Now they have an alternative.
Also, this motherfucker is winded from standing there. He rides a golf cart between the holes. He didn't just walk up.
Nobody would have ever known there was going to be a gold rush like this. I think nobody ever knew that they were going to be paying signing bonuses. The prize money was going to be much higher, 4, 5, 6 times higher. So instead of $1 million, you'd win 5 or 7 or 8. A lot of money, and it's even going up. So, but the PGA Tour hasn't reacted well.
You're so closely associated with the city of New York.
Yeah.
You, of all people, understand the passion surrounding 9/11. What do you say to those family members who protested earlier this week and will be doing so again on Friday?
Well, nobody's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately, and they should have, as to the maniacs that did that horrible thing to our city, to our country, to the world. So nobody's really been there, but I can tell you that there are a lot of really great people that are out here today, and we're going to have a lot of fun, and we're going to celebrate.
They keep
and money's
cutting it.
going to charity.
That was
a
the
lot of
clip
money's
most
going
people
to
have seen.
charity. And you have really the best players in the world, many of the best players in the world, and soon you'll probably have all of them because
I'm in the business of inflating bullshit. It's probably 10 times that. 23. We did this, this is a fucking joke from that Trumponomics skit I did for Sexy Liberal last year. He's like 10, 5, 20%, 35% more. And I think even double that. You're going to see 65, maybe 85%. Fucking hell.
If there's a merger, the people that didn't come, they will never get anything except a thank you from people that took advantage of them.
Again, because they chose not to work with the Saudis.
9/11. It was an absolutely dreadful event. But
dreadful.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it was an absolutely dreadful event. But
sure, those families probably drink Starbucks coffee. Have they never gotten in an Uber because of the investment of the Saudis? So
there's a difference between them buying stock in large companies that are profitable and you literally inviting them over for like a co-event at one of your properties. It's not the same fucking thing. He's doing it over the American company. Here's the thing. Have any of the people in the 9/11, and this monster get bent? Jesus Christ. The idea that she's like, well, have you never drank Starbucks? Motherfucker, we're not talking about somebody drinking Starbucks. We're talking about somebody forming a coffee company with the Saudis to overtake Starbucks because fuck Starbucks. That's not the same thing. That's what the LIV thing is. Fuck the PGA. I'm forming a whole other organization with the fucking Saudis because they dumped my properties, and without these kind of golf events, I lose fucking money. I mean, these places are like, they're only being kept afloat through these Save America folks and these shitty events.
I think there's a lot of different sides of the story here. There are people who love loud music at an event. They love this team event. They're into a different vibe. One can't say whether that's right or wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you need loud music to cover the sound of the wood chipper.
Those things are subjective. My line is hypocrisy. Don't say this is morality over money or money over morality when the very same people have also probably put gas in their car. And, you know, we all know that.
Oh, fuck off. What? Honest to fucking God. That's like saying, it's like the equivalent of, I don't know who you are to moralize about serial killers when we all have a butcher knife in our kitchen. Shut the fuck up.
That about 12% of all our petrol and gas comes from Saudi Arabia.
No, it doesn't.
So don't be a hypocrite about it.
And by the way, she's from England, so you're like Europe gets more of theirs from there.
At least be consistent.
Yeah. Here, all right, we're being consistent. Don't join in a business venture with the Saudis specifically to undermine one of your own country's businesses because of sour grapes because they left you after an insurrection.
That's my red line.
Yeah, also, speaking of hypocrisy and consistency.
And by the way, I love the prison look. It's a good look. Better get used to those bars, kid.
At least be consistent. That's my red line.
Yeah, also, speaking of hypocrisy and consistency.
Seriously.
Wasn't it just a couple weeks ago that our President Biden, was in Saudi Arabia fist bump?
Yes, on behalf of the country, because they're trying to bring down oil prices for everyone, because if they stay high, we spend a lot of money on oil and gas, but people in Africa, Central Asia, India, and other countries fucking die.
The prince and also begging for oil.
Nope.
So it's quickly how much opinion changes when it's President Trump who is involved.
Well, this was on behalf of the country, not something he wanted to do. Clearly, Trump couldn't wait to get in bed with the Saudis. That's a private venture.
Well, you're absolutely right there. Because
it's totally true.
Mainstream media, if you look at what all the mainstream media are saying, they're all saying this is absolutely ghastly. This investment is ghastly. And what about those 9/11 families?
Mm-hmm.
They weren't saying that. You're totally right.
You guys were.
When President Biden.
You didn't give a shit about it actually, but you certainly used it as leverage.
Went over there. The other thing I also would say.
No bow, no wearing the necklace like Trump did. None of the, hold on one second. Trump, Saudi. We've seen this a bunch of times, but I think it's worth curtsy. Images. Where is it? Hold on. There he is. Look at that. Just squinch your little head down there and give you a little curtsy. Trump curtsies for King Salman. Notice how Biden didn't do any of that shit this time? That's the end of that nonsense.
Is for people who say, well, you know, the players that have gone over to it, they say, well, they want to control their schedule.
Jesus Christ. Do they now? I'm sure the NBA players want to control their schedule. I'm sure the NFL guys would love it. Hey, you know what, guys? Super Bowl Sunday's not good for me. I got a thing. Can we move it to the following Wednesday?
On the other hand, don't forget, they want to control their schedule and they want to play in PGA events. When you add up the 8 events that Live Golf has, and now it's going to 14, and the fact that they want to play the PGA events as well, they can't use that as their line of reasoning because they're actually going to end up playing in as many events. I'll tell you where the future comes down to. This is the bottom line.
Okay, here it is. This is the bottom line. Fuck the 9/11 families. Is that where we are?
Right now, those powers that be at Augusta, they have not said that the Live Golf players can't play in the Masters. If they can't play in the Masters, that's going to dissuade a lot of talent from going over to Live. But if they can, why wouldn't they go to Live? Make the money, play the Masters. The other thing is...
Yeah, it's not like it's golf. It's not like they're going to injure themselves.
The other major events, like the USGA running the US Open, and of course, Royal and Ancient, they just had the British Open there.
By the way, I'm not even going to pretend to give a fuck about golfers' schedules.
Just referred to as the Open over at the pond, but the Open. So what about the Open? What about, of course, we know the PGA Championship, they're not going to let them play, but those other majors and the Masters, that's going to be a tipping point, because if they're allowed to play those, that's when they will, many of them are more likely to go after this season.
And I think, Bubba?
Yeah, because they don't care where the money comes from.
Phil, Dustin, Sergio, I think they've all won the Masters, which is a lifetime...
Yes, they're over it. They're done. This is the pasture tour.
A lifetime qualifier. How does this play out? The PGA seems between a rock and a hard place here. They don't want to lose these guys. People literally go out to watch these, not for them necessarily to win, but because they've watched them for years and they want to see them.
Yeah, they're the Rolling Stones, except not entertaining, and they look exactly like everybody else while they do what they do.
Yes, you know, I put it this way, I would not want to be in Tim Fincham's shoes right now.
Right. Yeah, me neither. I mean, I obviously, because I don't like, I mean, golf shoes don't look that great on me, Ann.
Of course, had a PGA. A couple of things here.
Oh, that's who he is.
I think
the fact that they have to tell you.
Don't know what the future's going to hold. How long can they hold out? Who can compete? The PGA, certainly, I don't see competing against billions and billions that...
Let's see.
SBM, the Saudi prince, that he's investing in this. He cannot, Tim Fincham and the PGA cannot compete with that over the long haul. Something interesting, of course, that former President Trump did say was he predicts, and who knows if he's correct or not.
He's not.
But there will be a merger at some juncture, in which case those PGA players that haven't gone over, President Trump is saying all they'll get will be a thank you, and they'll be out of those millions. So I think it's a very tough position.
What? How fucked is that? What is that to root for? The Saudis are trying to like basically claim American golf for themselves by overwhelming the PGA.
For PGA pros to be...
And to root for them over the PGA? Again, I could give a rat's ass. It's fucking golf. It's not a serious sport. I'm sorry. But the fact that a former president would be engaged in this shit, and the theory that he's running again, which he fucking well is not.
For the PGA to be in, and certainly they're being invested.
All right, I'm bored. I don't care. Honest to God, I wish I gave a shit about more of that. But the essence of it is that it's just fucking gross. That those folks in particular, I mean, there just is no moral base to that at all. None. And again, it's not the idea that there's some sort of parity between, well, you put gas in your car, so you're just as guilty as the guys who chopped up Jamal Khashoggi. Get fucked. One of the reasons why, I mean, we're on a cruise ship, not a speedboat. And one of the reasons why we're moving away from oil and gas the way we have been, and certainly converting to more domestic supply for the last 20 fucking years, is to get away from that kind of evil criminality. And then to just jump in bed with them just for fucking golf? For golf. For fucking golf. I mean, what other choices do they have? Who else was funding, alternative tournaments at this point? The Russians? Not now. Not with the sanctions. Not with their money seized up. It's not like you're going to get another Deutsche Bank loan. Fucking hell. Just gross. By the way, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you so much, Christine and Aaron and Mark. And it's super chat day. That's right. Michael, thank you. Jesse, thank you. Tesseract as well. Melissa, thank you so much. Patricia, thank you for the super chat. Yes. Let's cover that right now. This is. Hold on. Biden. Let's see. Announces. There's a. Whoa. That is a huge deal. Meanwhile, while Trump is engaged in a Saudi golf tournament 15 yards from his dead first wife, the mother of his adult children, who is buried without a tombstone with a simple concrete marker in areas where people will be improving their lie on the golf course. Meanwhile, President Joe Biden will announce Monday that a CIA counterterrorism strike in Afghanistan killed al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. Two sources familiar with the matter told NBC News. Biden is slated to speak from the White House at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Al-Zawahiri was an Egyptian physician before ascending to the top spot in the al-Qaeda network. We've been hearing about this dude for a long time. He's no al-Baghdadi, the worst person ever. He's believed to be one of the main architects behind the devastating September 11 terrorist attacks, the World Trade Center, and the Pentagon. Not good timing for Trump. Yeah, Biden's going live in 16 minutes. Excellent. Well, we will take that live, gut instinct, and watch it. Let's see. Joe Biden will announce Monday that okay, we'll leave him to that, whatever. That's the dude, though. There he is. That guy. Previously indicted by the U.S. government for his alleged role in the 98 bombings of the U.S. embassies in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and Nairobi, Kenya, The State Department had previously offered a reward of up to $25 million for information leading to his apprehension. Sunday's drone strike is the first known CIA counter-terrorism operation since Kabul fell to the Taliban last year. I mean, there is effectively, it's interesting as far as the prospect of negotiating for those kind of things within the borders of another country. When you do it in Iraq and in other countries, you do have to negotiate with the government of the country. But since the Taliban is not recognized by the United States or any of our allies, and it's certainly not functioning like a real government anyways, and it's taking, these kind of actions on their own, I wouldn't call them citizens, but the people inside the borders of their country on their own anyways. I'm curious what the sort of legal aspect of it. And meanwhile, this would be, hold on, where is it? Yeah. It's a shame that this couldn't have happened next weekend. Wouldn't this have been hilarious? Or if they'd have gotten this dude last year. Or sorry, last week I meant. If they'd have gotten him last week and then they came up to Trump while he was standing there. Biden just announced a drone strike that took out the number 2 guy in Al-Qaeda, who is bin Laden's number 2 man. He got, Obama got bin Laden while he was in office. What was the name of the guy you got again? He was like number 7. He's lower ranked in Al-Qaeda than the guy you let out to run the Taliban. What was his name again? We bombed his car on the way to the airport. He's not present. What does it matter? Oh, president, you mean? He's planning on running again, and his party is dovetailing around his attitudes and his ideas. That's what it matters. That's why Trump still matters to some degree. And by the way, insofar as what I, choose to focus on is constant mockery of that man, because he deserves, none of the respect that he gets from his circle, certainly, and the MAGA following. And anytime he pops his head up and is getting any kind of recognition or whatever, I'm going to mock him incessantly and troll him with comedy nonstop, because I think the biggest weapon against him is ridicule and dismissal. Don't get me wrong. I'm not at any point, taking him seriously. You're not even going to see me be one of those people like, they're planning the next January 6th, because those fuckers couldn't pull it off even if they did. I'm not worried about that part. But in my way of thinking, the best thing you can do with someone like Trump is mock the shit out of him all the time. Hold on, let me go to back up. We're going to okay, 12 minutes. We'll just hang out and talk chat, but there you go. We will begin shortly. Hi, chat room. There you are. Hi, guys. How are you? Oh, thanks, CSL. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Yeah, I mean that's what you do with a lot of these people. The idea that somehow that we have to take Trump seriously as a threat, I think that gives him more credit than he deserves. And there's a danger to that, because mocking him incessantly is very healthy, I believe. And if you at any point go, this is dangerous, this is some serious shit. No, it isn't. If he had power again, it would be very dangerous, just because of the people around him and his sort of angry need to, like, how much he holds a grudge, what a prick he is, and the danger around that. But it's not going to happen. He's not going to fucking run again, and he's not going to get elected. But if there are any salvageable human beings edging around the MAGA movement or in the Republican Party at this point, or even people who are like, are just stressed the fuck out by Trump's constantly being around and are nervous about it, I feel like the impact that I can have on them is to let them off the hook so they can walk away clean. Do not ever sweat Donald Trump. You can be disgusted, you can laugh, but don't ever get to a point where you can, where you're like, oh my God, I'm so worried. What happens if it's not going to fucking happen? Trump is a loser, and he's going to stay that way. That's why I was able to stay up with you guys all night on election night, because I fucking knew it. It's what I do. His lunatic supporters with all their guns can be a danger. I agree, MJ Daniel. That's a great point. And therefore, my point about that is that those folks won't leave him if you martyr him or call him a Nazi or those kind of things. They don't respond to that. They think if he's getting under your skin, that adds to his value. It doesn't take it away. And it proves that he's right, because you're the villain, so he wants you upset. But if you're laughing at him, that's really the only wedge. How can you speak on the GOP push to change the Constitution? They only need 13 states. For which part? They need a lot more than that. You mean like the Electoral College or something like that? Which part? Yes, laughter is the cure. Do not ever mistake Donald Trump for someone effective or good. That is the mistake that everybody's made about him forever. people who, one of the biggest things about people who've been involved in a con, where they've been, conned out of money or property or what have you, is a lot of times they will defend themselves by saying how clever the person was. Oh my God, they did everything right, and they kept telling me they had this other person come in. Like, no. At some point, there are definitely some good con people out there, and there's some definitely good games out there. But most of the time, most cons are hitting like elderly people or people who are already predisposed to be agreeable and what have you, right? So it's not like they're, top of their game. They can, it's like serial killers often take people who are weak and looking the other direction. They sneak up on people. There's no serial killers that are like, he's killing Marines in hand-to-hand combat. It doesn't happen. How we spent election night together and you still haven't called. I don't want to ruin it. It was so perfect. Bernie Madoff was smart. But was he, though? And again, a lot of the people, he was just acting on their greed. A lot of people were credulous about it, and they were like, I don't know, this sounds a little funky, but if you say so, because their investment advisor was the one that was accidentally playing along in that charade. That wasn't an active con from that person. They were just covering their ass. So what I'm saying is that yes, there are people out there who are great at conning people. Yes, there are great master manipulators of media and that kind of stuff. But the truth is, Trump kind of came along in a perfect window where everybody was just kind of buying whatever bullshit was being sold, and branding itself had power in and of itself. And it's not going to carry in the next election. It's not going to be enough. Yeah, amoral does not equal smart. Yeah, just because most people are civilized and therefore don't expect to be stabbed or shot or beaten or grabbed or thrown into a van. And so those people are easy to get compared to somebody who's paranoid, right? And the news media especially, it isn't that they have this plan where they're like, oh, we'll control everyone by, we want discord in the world because we make money off of it. In general, the mainstream media, the news stories pop up. They have a certain level of play, and then they address them, and yet they don't attack them in a way unless it's a direct threat until it's, and usually that's after they've already, passed like 5 stages of ignoring it. It's not it is not uncommon for people to find themselves in that, in a situation where they bought a story hook, line, and sinker. They meant no ill. And here's how we do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Goodbye. Yeah, we get porn bombed because we're very popular. And it usually happens when my when I put the chat up on screen. This is, and we'll just chit chat till it's about to start. We got about 5 minutes, chat room. Thank you, TB. Yeah, we get porn trolls. It happens. It's okay. And, thank you, Donna, for the red heart. And I'm going to make Mexico pay for the border. I believe you. Big bada boom. Big bada boom. Big bada boom. Trump's ego will force him to run. I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Because he can't afford it. He financially cannot afford it. The RNC will not pay his legal bills when that happens. And all the money from Save America, from the Save America PAC, he can't keep, I think, but like $5,000 of it. And then he's got to start a campaign, from scratch with new money. And what happens if he doesn't meet his quarterly finance goals with it? What if he's short a whole fucking, 100K, even under the level? I mean, it will happen because most of his own supporters are all burnt out. He's eaten all their fucking money, and the big donors who would race in to fill the gaps aren't going to him anymore. They don't think he can win. So he sets himself up for embarrassment, and he doesn't have, we know he doesn't have the money like he said. We miss Chip. We demand to see Chip. I understand. Yeah, he thinks maybe running with MTG. Kevin, not right now, but in the near future, we're trying for a a nerd Halen setup there. Tell me Sinema doesn't tank the Inflation Reduction Act. No, she won't. She just got a bunch of stuff out of the CHIPS Act. What if there's a Trump DeSantis ticket? Won't happen. DeSantis thinks he can be president. He's not going to dovetail in behind Trump, and he's not going to acquiesce to being VP until he swings for the fences. These guys are all egomaniacal assholes. Big donors will go to Yang. I don't think so. I mean, if they think it'll be a spoiler for the Democrats, they'll pay him some money. He'll like the Yang centrist, whatever, third party thing will get a bunch of money because they think it will mute votes on the Democratic side, that it will take Democrat leaning independents off the table and squeeze the numbers closer for Republicans and Democrats and giving Republicans a chance. That's the only reason they're going to invest in that, not because they actually think it's going any fucking where. The Chips bill was named after Chips. Chip, my cat. That is true. I vote Chip for president. All right. Hold on. I'm going to put this up. It's going to say begin shortly, and I'm going to go get Chip while you guys wait. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. It happens. How's my chipper doing? Oh my gosh. How's the chipper doing? It's a chipper. It's a chipper. He's a big kitty. That's a boy. What the boy? What the boy doing? What the boy doing? Hi. Yeah. Oh, the scratches are so good. Oh, the scratches are so good. Yeah, he's a big cat. He went from almost starving to death to one of our biggest cats. There he is. There he is. I play him like an instrument. Are we feeding it steroids? Yeah. Hi. Yeah. What you doing? What's your buddy doing? What you doing? He's such a good boy. You're welcome. You can hear he's purring. Yes. That's what happens when you get the poop situated and the nutrition, gets to stay inside the cat. That's exactly right. Because when we got him, he was dying. He was going off a cliff. We weren't even sure he was going to make it. And now he's a big boy. Now he's a big kitty with a big head. Now he is. Now he's a good boy. Now he's a good kitty. There he is. He's going to live. He's a survivor. Yeah, this is fine. I think it's time. So hold on one second. Refresh this. I'm going to turn this on just in case. We will begin shortly. Okay. Hi. You want to sit down? I got to put my headphones in, silly. Don't chase my headphone wire. Do not, young man. You will be in trouble. Don't. He's like, but I get to do it. It covers my whole lap now. Oh, poof. Aw. Thanks, Wirelight Soft Dev. Thanks for the super chats, guys. Thank you for the support. Don't forget, you can like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up. Always helps. Thumbs down helps too. If you're a troll and you're new to the place, or you found us because the Young Turks now disgust you, you're not alone. Welcome. Glad to have you here. I'm so proud to get the failed comedian moniker from from Anna Kasparian. Was that today? Chat room? Did anybody? Hold on. Where'd it go? There he goes. Hold on. Did she say that today on the show? We have to go find that. Make sure your filter is turned off. Oh, that's a good idea. That's true. Yeah, it is. I had to turn it off because we were showing other stuff. Yeah. I saw you on Sling TV. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. I'm glad when I pop up on the Twitch channel on Sling, Hal Sparks, male prostitute. I mean, failed comedian. Biden's on now. All right, let's see. Hold on. Dunk. Begin shortly. Are we beginning shortly? This says here. Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Yesterday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan that killed the emir of al-Qaeda, Ayman al-Zawahiri. You know, Zawahiri was bin Laden's leader. He was with him the whole time. He was his number 2 man, his deputy at the time the terrorist attack of 9/11. He was deeply involved in the planning of 9/11. One of the most responsible for the attacks that murdered 2,977 people on American soil. For decades, he was the mastermind behind attacks against Americans, including the bombing of the USS Cole in 2000, which killed 17 American sailors and wounded dozens more. He played a key role in the bombing of U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, killing 224 and wounding over 4,500 others. Mm-hmm. He carved a trail of murder and violence against American citizens, American service members, American diplomats, and American interests. And since the United States delivered justice to bin Laden 11 years ago, Zawahiri has been a leader of al-Qaeda, the leader. From hiding, he coordinated al-Qaeda's branches and all around the world, including setting priorities for providing operational guidance that call for and inspired attacks against U.S. targets. He made videos, including in recent weeks, calling for his followers to attack the United States and our allies. Now, justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more. People around the world no longer need to fear the vicious and determined killer. The United States continues to demonstrate our resolve and our capacity to defend the American people against those who seek to do us harm. You know, we make it clear again tonight that no matter how long it takes, no matter where you hide, if you are a threat to our people, the United States will find you and take you out. After relentlessly seeking Zawahiri for years under Presidents Bush, Obama, and Trump, our intelligence community located Zawahiri earlier this year. He had moved to downtown Kabul to reunite with members of his immediate family. After carefully considering the clear and convincing evidence of his location, I authorized a precision strike that would remove him from the battlefield once and for all. This mission was carefully planned, rigorously minimized the risk of harm to other civilians. And 1 week ago, after being advised that the conditions were optimal, I gave the final approval to go get him. And the mission was a success. None of his family members were hurt, and there were no civilian casualties. I'm sharing this news with the American people now, after confirming the mission's total success through the painstaking work of our counterterrorism community and key allies and partners. My administration has kept congressional leaders informed as well. When I ended our military mission in Afghanistan almost a year ago, I made the decision that after 20 years of war, the United States no longer needed thousands of boots on the ground in Afghanistan to protect America from terrorists who seek to do us harm. And I made a promise to the American people that we continue to conduct effective counterterrorism operations in Afghanistan and beyond. We've done just that. In February, our forces conducted a daring mission in Syria that eliminated the emir of ISIS. Last month, we took out another key ISIS leader. Now we have eliminated the emir of al-Qaeda. He will never again allow Afghanistan to become a terrorist safe haven, because he is gone and we're going to make sure that nothing else happens. You know, it can't be a launching pad against the United States. We're going to see to it that won't happen. This operation is a clear demonstration that we will, we can, and we'll always make good on the solemn pledge. My administration will continue to vigilantly monitor and address threats from al-Qaeda, no matter where they emanate from. As Commander-in-Chief, it is my solemn responsibility to make America safe in a dangerous world. The United States did not seek this war against terror. It came to us, and we answered with the same principles and resolve that have shaped us for generation upon generation. To protect the innocent, defend liberty, and we keep the light of freedom burning, a beacon for the rest of the entire world, because this is a great and defining truth about our nation and our people. We do not break. We never give in. We never back down. Last year on September 11th, I once more paid my respect to Ground Zero in New York City, at that quiet field in Shanksville at the Pentagon, standing in the memorial at Ground Zero, seeing the names of those who died forever etched in bronze is a powerful reminder of the sacred promise we made as a nation. We will never forget. The memorial also bears the quotation from Virgil: "No day shall erase you from the memory of time. No day shall erase you from the memory of time." So we continue to mourn every innocent life that was stolen on 9/11 and honor their memories. To the families who lost fathers and mothers, husbands, wives, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, friends and co-workers on that searing September day, it is my hope that this decisive action will bring one more measure of closure. No day shall erase them from the memory of time. Today and every day, I'm so grateful for the superb patriots who serve the United States intelligence community and counterterrorism communities. They never forget. And those dedicated women and men who tirelessly work every single day to keep our country safe, to prevent future tragedies. It is thanks to their extraordinary persistence and skill that this operation was a success. They made us all safer. And to those around the world who continue to seek to harm the United States, hear me now. We will always remain vigilant, and we will act, and we will always do what is necessary to ensure the safety and security of Americans at home and around the globe. Today, we remember the lost. We commit ourselves to the safety of the living, and we pledge that we shall never waver from defending our nation and its people. Thank you all, and may God protect our troops and all those who serve in harm's way. We will never give up.
Sir, you're clear. There. Excellent. There you go. That was it. I'm curious. If Newsmax ran it. I'm guessing no. Yeah. I know Fox did. That's got to be upsetting. We'll have to watch for that one tomorrow. That might be that might have to be one of the videos we actually do tomorrow. Is watching, how Fox reacted right after it happened. And see if they went. We go. Chip is feeling safer now as we are. Yes. Chip, you feel good? You okay? Hi, buddy. Yeah. Hi. It's a boy. It's a good guy. Yeah. No self-praise. Just praise the people who found him. Praise the people who carried it out. Stuck to the idea that this is about what happened and no further. And by the way, this I think also points to, what I've been saying, and Carlos Alzraqui mentioned this the other day as well in his kind of pushback against this, the usual suspects of people who kind of shit on the idea of follow through. But what are you looking at, buddy? But he had he mentioned that, if Al Gore was president, if there hadn't been all this Nader bullshit, Al Gore would have won. It was so narrow that made a huge difference. I mean, we're talking about a 500 vote difference. Where are you going, buddy? I'll let you out. Hold on. He thinks something's going on up here, and he thinks it involves food. Where are you going? Okay. Go ahead. where you were napping. I know, I abducted you. It was unfair, but they wanted to see you. He was like, did someone open a can? I thought I heard something along the lines of like it was a can, or was it something? Yeah. Yeah, Nader blew it for Gore, and without that, I mean, again, the question of whether 9/11 would have or could have happened is a reasonable one under if Gore had been president, simply because he would not have ignored the Bin Laden PDB, for one. Yes, just it is lint roll. Hello, ladies. Bow chicka wow wow. Wicka 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 bow chicka wicka 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 chicka. That and that if it had happened, he certainly would not have reacted to it the same way that Bush did. Period. There's no way that a President Al Gore ends up attacking Iraq. Even if we ended up going into Afghanistan, it would have been in a smaller footprint, more specific to the mission at hand. I mean, even John Kerry, when he ran for the second Bush term, was saying this is a Interpol and military and intelligence endeavor, not a lifetime war in this, another decade, and he would be right. It would be 15 more years. And again, the Republicans who supposedly love the military mocked him by wearing Purple Heart Band-Aids with, Bush Jr. avoiding service by being in the Texas National Guard and going AWOL a bunch of times and all that shit. Dan Rather losing his job by bringing it up. Nobody argues that John Kerry didn't show the fuck up. He was wounded in a firefight. Like just the idea that like Kerry being the guy who says no one should be the last man to die for a lie. I'm paraphrasing. Just the quality of that human being compared to who actually ran the fucking place. And everybody's like, I don't know. Do I really? So, where did you get that G? The G. What G you talking about? The OG? Let's see. All right, I'm gonna bring this back up. Now, I feel like since we've only got a few minutes, can we do, shit. Can we do something a little off the marker? Because this is shorter, but it just came up and here, let's just look at it. It's been a minute. Will Smith. Will Smith apologized or did an apology video. I watched the beginning of it and I was like, you know what? We need to kind of talk about this because he does a bunch of things in this that are the opposite of what you do when you apologize. And so maybe it's just a learning experience for all of us. For the record, you do not strike someone over words ever. Not ever, not ever. Yeah. And he finally released this thing after a while, and the beginning of it is just fucking wonky. It's weird. He answers questions posed. They just cut this together, and it's number 48 of trends. I like the way it's listed, but let's hear what he has to say. And yeah. It's been a minute. Over the last few months, I've been doing a lot of thinking and personal work. ... So he's pre-tweeting. You asked a lot of fair questions that I wanted to take some time to answer. Why not say that on camera? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's him. That's him behind the camera breathing. That right there is an act of ego. Like, all right, I got to do this. This tells you that this is a weight and this is something I got to do, but I'm doing this as an act of strength. Okay, the world is sick. Love is the cure is the poster that's up there. They just need to make something really quick, paint it up, throw it on the wall. Is this the set where they do Jada's show? I don't watch it, so. And by the way, before this all happened, for the most part, I liked I certainly liked his early work. And I like Rock's stand-up, his work, the quality of his writing. None of this reached the level of equating, not that anything can, but to the zone of violence at all. Like, it was just, it was so over the fucking top. So let's be real clear. That's a big no-no. You don't strike somebody for telling a joke, especially on a night when you're winning an award for being, when you're up for best actor. You don't have problems in the world. And if you deal with it later, if he hadn't struck him, if he'd have walked up there and just said, take it back, the impact would have all been on Chris Rock. It would have all been on Chris Rock if he'd have just said, how fucking dare you? Even if he swore. But the minute he struck him, whole different game. It's not about what was said anymore. It's not even about Jada. It's about him. It's about his ego or his fear.
Why didn't you apologize?
Really? Yikes.
To Chris in your acceptance speech. I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy. I've reached out to Chris.
Okay, so this is edited like fucking crazy. So he could have done I've been doing a lot of personal work and I wanted to answer some questions. These are some of the questions you posed. And he's acting like he's reading them for the first time, which is not how you would do this. You would pick the ones that you get the most often and people seem to go back to. So reading it like he's never seen it before to make it appear fresh is a lie.
And the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk.
Oh, it's his fault then.
And when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
He doesn't ever have to be ready to talk. Anybody that you physically assault doesn't have to be ready to talk with you. It's not on him. He doesn't ever have to be ready to talk. You apologize. You say what you did was unacceptable, and that's where it goes. You can even say, I hope someday we can speak and I can clear it with him so that he knows I really mean it. But once you say, whenever you're ready to talk, what the fuck is wrong with you? No. It is not Chris Rock's responsibility to reach out to a person who struck him.
I want to apologize to...
Whoops. I want to apologize. Trump does this. We talked about this before. He did it right with saying it to Chris. He said, I apologize. And he said that that's scripted. He'd written that out. They were going to say that. Once he says, I want to apologize, then it's back on him. Now it's back to, I want to apologize because I'm the kind of guy who apologizes when he's wrong and you should like me for that. In these situations, I apologize to Chris. I also apologize to, and you finish it there. You don't go, I want to apologize to. Trump does this the same way. I want to thank, it's linguistically, it's real easy. To Sam, Jerry, your wife Claire, and everybody here at the organization, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate more than you know the work that you have done. Not, I want to thank Sam and his wife and Claire and everybody who worked here. I was thinking about it this week because I'm the kind of guy who thinks about how thank yous are lovely. Thank you, Masked Man. What? Thank you, Masked Man. Thank you, Masked Man. God damn it, I like that. Say that again, kid. Thank you, Masked Man. Thank you, Masked Man. Help, Mr. Lone Ranger, help. You got to get the fuck off, you people. I'm getting the thank yous right now. I'm getting it, but thank you, Masked Man. I'm going to put it in a book. I'll get a thank you, Masked Man book.
Chris's mother. I saw an interview.
Oh, you want to thank her? Go ahead. Or you want to apologize to her?
That Chris's mother did. And, you know, that was one of the things about that moment. I just didn't realize
that there are other people in the world.
You know, I wasn't thinking, but how many people got hurt in that.
Not just how many people got hurt. How many people are going to fucking get hurt?
Moment.
You do not green light violence with your actions either. You, especially when you're that famous, holy shit. And people look up to you like that. You, whether you like it or not, you set a standard for behavior for other fucking people.
So I want to apologize to.
Oh yeah, he wants to apologize. He's not going to, but he wants to.
Chris's mother. I want to apologize to.
Then do it.
Chris's family, specifically Tony Rock. You know, we had a great relationship, you know.
Until I struck his brother on national television.
Tony Rock was my man.
For a joke.
And this is probably irreparable.
Probably. Oh, why? Because is it Tony's fault? It isn't, by the way. It is not Chris Rock's mom or his brother's responsibility to repair this.
I spent the last 3 months replaying and
as you would,
understanding the nuances and the complexities of
not slapping somebody. The fuck are you talking about? There's no nuance and complexity. You hit somebody. It's pretty fucking simple.
Happened in that moment.
There was no nuance and complexity. There wasn't. Quit it. Again, all he had to do, if he'd have said everything he said, if he'd have walked up there and said, say you're sorry, there would have been a funny moment between the two of them. There would have been an apology afterwards. There would have been this conversation on fucking the red carpet about, well, do you think you went a little too far? And wow, it seemed there was a lot of tension between you and Chris, and he's a good friend, and I blah, blah. You fucking hit someone.
And I'm not going to try to unpack all of that right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I appreciate that as someone watching the video. I mean, you know, being considerate of your time.
But I can say to all of you, there is no part of me that thinks that was the right way to behave in that moment.
Now, honey, baby, look, I know it hurts, but I love you. Look, it's, it's not what I wanted to do. It's just you made me so upset. Like, this just reeks of that stuff.
There's no part of me that thinks that's the optimal way.
We ain't talking about optimal, dummy. That's acceptable. Optimal, this is when people do this shit, this is the other thing I hate. When you're having a legit conversation about somebody's issues or their behavior, or whether you deserve an apology for how they treated you in a relationship, and their response is, look, okay, fine, I'm not perfect. I'm like, we're not talking about perfect, asshole. We're talking about baseline, like, general human to human contact. You don't have to be perfect to not do that.
To handle a feeling of disrespect.
Oh, now it's his fault again.
Or insults.
Mm-hmm. We're back to Chris disrespected him. And he insulted him.
After Jada rolled her eyes, did she tell you to do something? No.
Okay, this is the part that Jada's making him say. Legally.
It's like, I made a choice on my own.
Based on previous experiences.
From my own experiences, from my history with Chris, Jada had nothing to do with it. I'm sorry, babe. I'm going to say sorry to my kids and my family for the heat that I brought on all of us.
Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't say I want to say sorry. He said I'm say sorry. Like he fumbled that for the heat I brought on all of us.
To all my fellow nominees.
Oh God, this is such an honor.
This is a community. It's like I won because you voted for me, and
you didn't get, the other nominees don't vote for you. The members of the Academy do. All the schlubs like me, people who've done movies but don't expect some sort of Oscar for scenes in Spider-Man 2 and Dude, Where's My Car? Although, quite frankly, there's a reason I would say that we can expect, or we should be able to expect, I think. Get back up here. I'll have to drag this down. Sometimes you deserve the Oscar, and yet you're only going to ever be, until you're really old, like in my case. I'll win an Oscar. Don't get me wrong. It's going to happen, but I'll be 85. And it won't be one of these lifetime achievement things. It's going to be for something I actually do at that age. But the people who vote for you to get the Oscar are not the other people who are also nominated. It's all the actors who fucking work for a living. It's all the rest of us, the ones who don't get Oscars. The 98% of the people who vote for you, who are performers, for people to get Oscars, are never going to get a role that will be up for an Oscar. Much less, God knows they might deserve it, but it doesn't mean they're ever going to even get cast in it.
It really breaks my heart to have stolen and tarnished your moment. I can still see Questlove's eyes. It happened on Questlove's award, and
and everybody else's show. But sure, okay.
It's like I'm sorry really isn't sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to the people who looked up to you before the slap, or people who expressed that you let them down?
Or to the black comedians in particular whose lives are now in danger because you basically pulled down the invisible fence between audiences and performers and allowed violence to be an answer to somebody who feels disrespected in a comedy club, where, like fucking Chappelle had somebody run on stage after this shit.
So there's two things. One, disappointing people is my central trauma.
Disappointing people is his central, I think, not sensual, central trauma. Fuck me. What? You know what? Being struck in the face by the winner of Best Actor of the evening is Chris Rock's current central fucking trauma. Jesus. Rudy Giuliani must be the therapist. This is all Scientology? Yeah. If it is, it's goofy as shit. I've never heard any lack of culpability or lack of responsibility from Tom Cruise in any of his weird shit over the years. I'm just saying. I don't know. Honest to God, I don't know their system, and I don't care. This seems personal. Like I'm not even willing to put this off on that weirdo thought process.
I hate when I let people down.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry we all made you feel bad. We won't bring it up. Guys, can everybody stop bothering Chris? He feels you're triggering his sensual trauma.
So it hurts.
Now, why do I feel like I owe him an apology?
It hurts me psychologically and emotionally to know I didn't live up to people's.
It hurts me. Again, talk about listen to the language in this. This is how not to do it. It's a great lesson. Otherwise, I wouldn't give a rat fuck about this. But this is a great lesson in how not to apologize.
Image and impression of me. And
oh, okay. What?
People's image and impression of me. And the work I'm trying to do is I am deeply remorseful, and I'm trying to be remorseful without being ashamed of myself.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry. No. That's also, ladies and gentlemen, some people will tell you this bullshit that never regret things because the things that happened made you who you are. Well, some of the time, what makes you who you are is regret because it teaches you not to do this shit over and over again. And if you do something you should be ashamed of, feeling shame is part of not doing it again. Especially when it's physical violence. You fucking should be ashamed. You should be ashamed of yourself. Say it. There's more shame in not feeling shamed. That's why we have a word, shameless.
Right? I'm human. And
that's the other one. Fuck. I'm not perfect. I'm human. That kind of bullshit. You hear people in arguments. Nobody's questioning your humanity, asshole. They're questioning your irresponsibility. They're questioning your adulthood. They're questioning your ethics and morality. Not the fact that you are a Homo sapien, for fuck's sake.
I made a mistake and
no. You didn't make a mistake. You committed an act of violence. You didn't slap the wrong person. You slapped somebody for something that was said. That you get me?
I'm trying not to think of myself as a piece of shit.
Why? Sorry, dude. None of us get to skip that. A bunch of us have gone through moments in life. If you give a shit about your behavior, you've thought of yourself as a piece of shit if you've done anything outside your ethical circle. If you've acted violently or... Yeah. That was a shitty thing to do. And I'm a piece of shit for what I did. I'm going to do the work myself to not be shitty anymore. And that's not on Chris Rock, and that's not on his family. That's on me. Nobody is responsible for this act but me. And I am ashamed of myself. And there's a lot of stuff I'm going to have to do to make up for it so that I can deal with that shame and earn my way out of it. Does that make sense? This is all about how we're making Will Smith feel bad.
So I would say to those people, I know it was confusing. I know it was shocking.
This is like, kids watch me, kids look up to me, and kids saw me do that, and I know it was confusing, but it was really complex.
But
it wasn't confusing, it was shitty.
I promise you, I am deeply devoted and committed to putting light and love and joy
and jargon and words and rubber stamping feely, good word, hippie thing on good, happy, happy. Joy, joy, happy, happy, joy, joy, happy.
Into the world. And
oh, now when you're gonna start now?
You know.
No, I don't know.
If you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Why again? This is the end of this fucking thing. I don't know what else he says. There's like seconds left in this. If you hang on. If you hang on. I don't know Will Smith. I don't know what his fucking deal is. But this ain't how you do it. And it is, and if any of us can get anything out of this, it's learning how that there's nothing shameful in owning shame, only in dodging it. If you want to apologize, fucking apologize. Say, I apologize for this. I was on this Art of Fatherhood podcast, and I talked about this thing that I do with, I did with Cam growing up, and he's such a good human. And it was just it was something I came up with that because I noticed other kids, when they would act out or they would have these moments of, they would kick somebody in the shins or be kind of a dick. And, kids go through phases like that. And I was like, how do I get my kid to recognize and associate, the awareness of that bad behavior with how to solve it and how to take responsibility for it. And so I have this thing where if Cam does something wrong, and when he was little, I'd say to him, go over and apologize, tell them what you did. Say, I apologize for this, whatever it was. I apologize for grabbing that out of your hand, or I apologize for smacking your hand or biting or blah, 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 whatever it was. I apologize for that. Listen to what they say and then come back and tell me what they said. And so he would go over and he would say, I'm sorry I kicked you very much and I love you. And then he'd come back at me, or he'd say, I'm sorry I kicked you. And they would say, it's okay, just don't do it again, or I forgive you, or whatever it was. And then he would come back and he would say to me what they had said. All of it. And then I would say, don't do it again, or we'd talk a second about that. And then I would finish it by saying, I love you, and giving him a hug. And that, because he wouldn't just say, because kids will sometimes do an apology where like, go say you're sorry, like, I'm sorry, but they never say what they're sorry for. And you have to attach the apology to the action itself. And you can't namby-pamby your way around. I want to apologize. I want to say, I want to say, I'm not going to. I want you to know that I'm the kind of person who wants to apologize. No. I'm here because I need to say something to this person watching and the other people watching. I am sorry for what I did. I have no excuse. And it was a shameful act, and I am disgusted with myself. And I want you to know I'm aware that what I did was wrong. I am desperately sorry that I lowered myself to that level, and it will never happen again. You have no responsibility to forgive me, and nor will I ask you for that forgiveness. I just need you to know that I'm aware that I did something wrong. To everybody else who was watching, who was witness to it, to you, I'm sorry. You didn't need that, and I was wrong to put you in a situation where you had to even watch that. I have no idea, nor did I at the time, if any of you had any other traumas or violence that had happened to you. And to even act like that in front of you was a wanton disregard for civilization around me at the time, and it won't happen again. To you also, I genuinely apologize. but I will not ask for your forgiveness. That is up to you. I will work on myself because I require it, because what I did was shitty. I'm ashamed of myself. And know that I'm aware of it and that I will never act that way again. That would do it. That would do it. That ain't this. Listen to this last sentence.
If you hang on, I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
Why? Why do they have to hang on? I don't think so. What? That's it? Holy shit. That's the tail end of that?
I promise we'll be able to be friends again.
And they just fade it out. Ugh. What? And what's...
Mm-hmm.
Again, this whole shit at the beginning where there's like a conversation, the fact that he's on effectively a set, especially in this day and age, where you could just take your phone and put it in a case and go, hi, I'm talking to you from my phone. Everybody's away. I need to do this alone. And say this. Ugh. This kind of shit. I mean, it's not that surprising. I mean, to apologize like that, you'd have to be the kind of person who would walk up on stage and slap somebody for a joke you knew was coming that was not meant in harm. There is no one who looked at in anybody there at the Oscars or anybody watching at home that wasn't, in the fringes of the world that didn't think Jada looked beautiful. Shaved head and all. Didn't matter. Why would it? Honest to God. And a G.I. Jane joke, Demi Moore looked fantastic. It was it's not the kind of thing, it wasn't a Dr. Evil joke. It wasn't a fucking Lex Luthor joke. It was, it's just fucking silly. And the idea that it would deserve, that any joke deserves violence is absurd. This was meant to be a protective act. I mean, you can even look at the physical gesturing that's going on in this. There's some acting, but then there's some...
of myself with.
There's a bunch of looking away when it gets difficult, except when I want to tell you. When the word I is said, right down the fucking barrel. But when the apology part happens... Dude, I bet Scott, the body language expert, holy shit, he'd have a field day with this. Yeah, the Russell Brand School of YouTube views. You're not wrong. If he's a good actor, why couldn't he pull this off? Because he's good at certain things, but not everything. And when he does do it, it's totally different when you're doing it as a character. It's like... And it depends on which emotion, tears sell, angers, tears and anger are the way people know that you're doing genuine acting, even though they're not the hardest emotions by any stretch. I can cry on cue and I can make an audience cry if I want to. Anybody can fucking do anger based on almost any material. You can't pull some anger up in you and fucking use it. See what I mean? Like, it's not hard. You know what the hard emotions are? Joy, elation, happiness, laughter. When it's not real, I mean, you have to make it happen. That's the work. You must project to the back row. Right. You have to be a master thespian. And pushing that on audience members, that skill. That's sometimes where you do it, you edge towards tears and then you pull back and let the audience cry for you. There's part of that. Thanks, Joey. I sometimes do that to stabilize my upper back and make sure I'm sitting upright. Because if I put my arms down on the table, I lean forward to it. I need to raise this whole thing up. I need a standing desk. That's the next phase. But, yeah, he doesn't want to be sued. Acting. Thank you. Right. Yeah, Trump said Biden has dementia, not COVID. That was his response to the whole, like, his little Truth Social thing. Doesn't matter. The point I would like to make is that when you're looking at these kind of videos, or when you see some, a politician or an actor or someone in the public square, or I don't know, if you ever see like somebody who's on trial for something come out and say stuff, that you look at what they're saying for the words that are actually coming out of their mouths, because it matters. I'm trying to get by the way, this is me looking at the chat room. I just moved it up. So that you guys don't think I'm just kind of, this is where I'm looking at you when you guys are talking. Amber Heard was a great example of it. Like, that is manipulative tears. I mean, it's a mess. And again, you have people people who are a mess can pull up real stuff too. Diane says Cal Rittenhouse. I think that was genuine. Because I don't think he expected it. I think he was a mess. Killing someone or being around someone who dies is traumatic, whether or not you were planning it or you expected it or not. It's why, by the way, it's why a lot of like school shooters end up doing themselves in, because the reality of it didn't match the fantasy, and the heartbreak of seeing someone pass away is too much. But when it goes, when it comes to this kind of an apology, the important thing is, if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have to apologize, just do it. It's always going to be better for everyone involved if you give an honest apology, if you're capable of it. And I believe most of the people who watch my show are, with some regularity, even the maggots, even the trolls. This even applies to you. You might find yourself in a situation where you're talking to, you've hurt a family member through your actions, your activity, or whatever. If you're going to apologize, don't say you want to say you're sorry or you want to apologize. Just fucking say it. Say what for. I'm sorry I did this. Never make it about the other person accepting your apology. It's not their fucking fault that you did what you did, and it is not their responsibility to come around and, and understand what you were going through. Fuck that. As a matter of fact, the more you let them off the hook, the more meaningful your apology is. And end it without an ask. No, like, I hope you can understand that I hope one day we can. No. They will reach out when they fucking reach out. And if they never do, tough shit. That's the price of doing something wrong. So yeah, never put the cost at the end of an apology. And that's what he did that like 4 times in that video. So when someone invariably shares this video with Will Smith, dude, you need to reshoot the ending. We got a couple of pickups you're going to need to do before release next time. And the work you need to do on yourself includes and this goes for all of us who ever do anything wrong, is never making what we did wrong, not our mistakes, not our imperfections, our, it's, none of that shit. The things we do wrong, to take responsibility for them, to make amends for them, and to never make it the fault or the responsibility of the person who was wrong to ever come back to us. In a lot of ways, even if you put most people will forgive you if you put pressure on them to do so, because most people lean that way. And that in its own way is taking advantage of a civil and cultural norm that you obviously have broken, or you wouldn't be apologizing in the first fucking place. I mean, you guys know me. If somebody yells at a fucking waiter around me, I'm done. Much less fucking strike somebody for that. Jesus Christ. So the like I said, the only thing that ever has any value in any of this, like in any celebrity gossip, is when you look at it and you go, well, in that situation, I'd have done this, and this is the way you do it, or I would have never been in that situation in the first fucking place. Only value it has. None of us are gonna. I mean, I might end up bumping into Chris Rock at some point in my life in the near future. That wouldn't be surprising. There's even a slight chance that I might see Jada Pinkett or one of the kids at something. I don't know that I'm ever going to interact with Will. But I now know, having watched this, that if there's any difficulty, professional or personal, between me and this person, that I have to be on the lookout that this dude's apologies don't mean shit. And that's a shame. But again, the rest of, everybody else, including me, like I said, the chances of me, interacting with him in any way is, although considering the failed comedian C-lister that I am, that according to TYT, maybe he loses his career and on his way down, we pass each other on a film or something. There you go. That would be, the one part of it, there's possibility. It's like ending up in a movie with James Woods. It might be good for you on the way up, but it's not good for him on the way down. He ended up in a lot of movies with people like that. So the only way it'll benefit any of us is if we all look at this and recognize, if I ever found myself crossing my own ethical or moral line in a way that caused certainly violence in this way, I now have the tools or the knowledge or the awareness, which I can never take back. Once you know it, you can't unknow it, that is not how you apologize. That is not how you take responsibility. So, anyways, on that note, I'll let you guys go. I went a half hour over. It kind of ended up being, this is closer to like the morning show in a lot of ways. It was a good conversation, though, I hope, and worth talking about. We've discussed this with some politicians over time, and I would categorize this in the realm of people using the word outrageous, which we see a bunch. You know what I'm talking about? That being said, I mean, I honestly don't find anybody in my audience is going to be in this moment, but even on a small scale, try to avoid the whole I want to thank or I want to apologize language, and that's a good start. Yeah. Anyways, I adore you guys. I will see you tomorrow. And take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. All right. See you later.